Now, their senior officials at the Swans are being targeted heavily. Tom Harley is a person of interest still with the AFL. Again, he said no because it's not the same offer or the same package that was put supposedly to Brendan Gale. So he's staying at the Swans as we speak. We go to the top name on that list, Don Pyke. Now, he has been a coach in the past. He took a team to a grand final in 2017. He's been a senior assistant coach to John Longmire in recent years. West Coast has a major interest in him as CEO, not as an assistant coach.
He's also a very accomplished businessman.
A very accomplished businessman.
Millions,
Again, the party line tonight is that Don is a Sydney person and they don't know anything about it, but there are West Coast Eagles power brokers who are very keen to have him replace Trevor Nisbet as CEO. We saw the Dean Cox situation there. He has been sounded out, not for the first time by West Coast this year, staying as we speak with John Longmire, who's contracted until the end of 2025.
Well, the question off the back of that, Damo, is he staying to prepare to be, I guess, the succession to John Longmire, or are they building him up for maybe a senior role somewhere else?
Nothing in concrete at that stage. I mean, he may well be preparing himself to be Jim. John Longmire has recently signed a contract for the end of 2025, so 2 more years beyond this one, and there is nothing formal around a succession plan pertaining to Dean Cox at this stage. They don't want him to go, and he's crucial to operations, but nothing in that space.
Lordy, speaking of big names, Tom Hickey, who's been a very serviceable player over his career and seems to be a great fellow, so well done, Tom Hickey. Calls time. That opens the door. Is Brodie Grundy somebody who should be looking at heading up to Sydney? I know, Jimmy, where would you like to see him go?
There's quite a few clubs. Port Adelaide, Geelong would be one, with Segler retiring as well, and a lot of young rucks down there for the Sydney Swans.
Yeah, they've always landed
Port
big
Adelaide
names.
especially, I reckon.
They've always landed big names, Sydney Swans, and they've just obviously lost Buddy Franklin. So I know Grundy's a different type of player, but Robbie D'Orazio, Paul Connors must have been smiling when they saw that Hickey had retired, because the options are just getting bigger and stronger for Brodie Grundy, a guy that isn't wanted at his own club or isn't wanted in the 22.
He can't be playing at 10:30 at Casey Field.
That's
Brodie
right.
Grundy.
His career is he's lost a year of his career really this year. I know.
And weirdly enough, for a club that just got him and doesn't want him, there may still yet be a bidding war for Brodie Grundy, because if it's not the Swans, the power has already made some very serious front running for him already.
Yeah, he's in a good spot.
OK, we're just going to throw up the back page of the West Australian today, which is quite interesting, because this year the West Coast Eagles have really copped it, haven't they, from the West Australians? They've always been, a sacred cow over there. Save Our Simo is the go today. Can you believe this? They've been lining him up left, right and centre, and suddenly things have turned on the back of last week's results. What's your thoughts on all this, guys?
Well, it was the fans, wasn't it? The fans are turning on the board, on the club, all for Adam Simpson, but you can't in this situation. I know they've been loyal fans. You can't listen to the fans in this one.
Let's have a look at some of the statements that have been put out by the chairman, Paul Fitzpatrick, this week from the West Coast Eagles. We do have faith that Adam can take the team forward. We also believe in the path we need to take to fight our way back. And then he came out, the club remains firm in its position. No decisions have been made around the future of any staff members, and that none of those key decisions will be made until after the season. And that's what Paul Fitzpatrick's been saying all the way along. And now
you've maintained that meeting most recently on the weekend was simply to work out how much Adam Simpson gets paid.
Let me go back. 2 months ago we said on here and explained the West Coast Eagles philosophy going forward, which included getting rid of the players and the new medical staff and etc. And we've seen all that happen. Okay, it's all come out. What we said at that stage was they wanted to stay with Adam Simpson and that he was their guy, and they're going to send him on a good break to freshen up, which we've seen he needs that, no doubt about that. Then they got flogged by the Fremantle Dockers and things changed. Right now, my understanding is that there were meetings over the weekend, and that was to make sure that he gets the right severance pay. Now, if they flip again, I don't care, as long as you land on your feet. But, it might have been a knee-jerk reaction to go against him with Fremantle, and they might have all gone, hang on a second, we've looked around, there's not much better than this bloke. Why don't we stick to plan A and go with him? I'm not buying into it, and certainly I'm not trying to run Adam Simpson out of town, because any time you say anything on these forums, people want to think you've got an agenda. I've got no agenda. I'm just telling you what I know is going on. I still think that the decision has been made, and the decision has been made to pay him out.
Well, one of the narratives that come off the back of their win against the Bulldogs was, did it cost them Harley Reid? Now, they'd be looking at their draft boards now that we've had all the underage championships taking place, and they'd be looking at a young kid in their own backyard, Daniel Curtin, who's about 190 centimetres. He'll probably settle across the half-back flank before moving up into the midfield. Tall, beautiful kick of the footy, complements what they do already in the midfield with their young players, Jinby, Hugh Stewart, Chesser, of course, Oscar Allen up forward. But a quality class player who's in your own backyard, they'll still have pick 2. Now, if they rate him a bit further down the first round, well then can you split up pick 2, still get him and another WA kid? If you think his stocks are still rising, you take him probably a pick or 2 earlier, but you've already got him. You can lock him away for a long time.
Well, Harley Reid's made enough noises, whether he has, or his brother, or his cousin, or his uncle, or his auntie, or whoever it is.
Doesn't want to go.
That doesn't want to go.
Well, you never have to. Sorry, Lloyd. You never have to worry about the go home factor if the kid's already in your own backyard.
What would you do though if you're a president and some of your board members are flip-flopping on the result on a Saturday afternoon? Like you can't.
I don't think that's the case though. But Lloydie, I think that.
But some of the talk is, I hear you say they've made
Should
the
be the
decision.
president's call. But,
Yeah, as a board,
Yeah.
like surely that's just rubbish from the media. The media can say we want the board gone, not the coach, but really they should have made their decision.
Look, as I said, we've said what's happened,
Yeah.
and I haven't got any further information to add, so I'm not going to try and, I don't need to justify my position because I know what it was and it's right. So next week, we assume that it'll play itself out.
And that will be that he'll be finished?
I think so, yeah. Well, I mean, if they meant to bet his severance pay,
Yeah.
that's not a good sign, is it?
Yeah. Once you're doing that, you think there's no turning back.
You think so?